Hi, this is Father John with the second part of my call to the priesthood video. Like I said, I got to St. John's, or I applied to St. John's Seminary, and I got into the seminary. They gave me 1 year's credit for my 7-year experience at a junior college. I was a slow learner, but they did give me 1 year credit, so I came in as a sophomore in college. My roommate was a prince of a guy. His name was Larry Estrada, and he was just great. Seminary was completely different than I thought it was going to be. I imagined guys walking around like this all the time, very quiet, Gregorian chant going on. It was nothing like that. They were really good guys, and I think there's some guys that were really holy guys, but their holiness was not limited to just their outward appearance. They were really loving and caring young men who wanted to serve God. There were others that were a little crazy, and there's others that I didn't get along with. The faculty of St. John's Seminary was a very interesting faculty. There was one priest who didn't like me at all, and for some reason he wanted me out of there. But I worked and worked and worked, and I had no idea how to study. So my roommate, Larry Estrada, taught me how to study. I studied, I went to prayers. We had prayers 3 times a day, morning prayer, evening prayer, and night prayer together. We ate together in what's called a refectory, the chow hall in military terms. There was a sports field, there was a track, or a walk, about a 3-mile walk around the property of the seminary. And so I had a good chance to get some exercise. It was surrounded by eucalyptus trees, so my shoes would always smell of eucalyptus. I grew to love that smell. I had different roommates in the seminary. There were 2 guys to a room. It was a 4-man room, but they were separated by closets, but it was one great big room. And so I had 2 beds and 2 sinks and 2 medicine cabinets and 2 closets and 2 sets of drawers and 2 desks. And then a window. There were 3 dormitories, and I was in one. Then one of the other 3, all of my 3 years there. After 3 years of college, I got a bachelor's degree in philosophy, focusing on Thomistic philosophy, but the study of others and history of philosophy and so forth. I took a Spanish class. I took a history of Mexico class. All kinds of good stuff. Some of the classes were really funny. I'll never forget one professor. His name was Father Barr, and he was kind of a gruff old guy. He had gray hair run out from under his collar. And one of my best friends, Billy, who is still a friend. I just got a text from him a few minutes ago. He went into the Navy. He left the seminary, went into the Navy, and became a naval officer. But I remember Father Barr once told him to stand up and do the opening prayer for class. And so we all stood up, and Billy went, "Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which you are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen." Everybody just followed along. Father Barr didn't even notice. It was so funny. I was laughing myself to death. I got through college, graduated from college. My mom was very ill with cancer at the time. So she couldn't come up to my graduation, but my aunt and my cousins and other people came up, and I graduated from college. And I would spend my summers back at my mom and stepdad's house in Downey. Then I went into the School of Theology, which is a graduate school, and that was very different. It was a little bit more quiet, but not much more quiet. There was a lot of fun going on, and I had some really good friends in this seminary, several of which I still keep in contact with, my classmates. And one of my, Father Tim down in Orange County. There are other guys that I've become great friends with. The current Bishop of Fresno, Bishop Joe Brennan, the current Bishop of Sacramento, Bishop Jaime Soto. We were all friends in the seminary. And I just had a really, really wonderful time there. The rector of the seminary was Father Charles, where's my brain? Father Charles Miller, Father Charlie Miller. Our nickname for him was Dad, because he was a very big dad figure in our lives. He once said to us in homiletics class, teaching us how to give homilies, or Protestants call them sermons. He spoke a little differently, had a kind of a odd way of speaking, and he said in class, "You may not be ordained to the Catholic priesthood if you have any sort of speech impediment whatsoever." And we didn't know whether to laugh or not, and finally he broke out into a laugh himself. We all roared with laughter. He was a really, really wonderful priest. There were others, Father Newman Eberhard, who taught church history as one of my heroes, and others who taught. There were just wonderful, wonderful examples of the priesthood. I was ordained in 1981 by Timothy Cardinal Manning at the old cathedral in downtown Los Angeles, and I went on to my first parish, which was American Martyrs in Manhattan Beach, and on from there. I'll name the parishes that I've been in. American Martyrs, Manhattan Beach. My second parish was San Roque Parish in Santa Barbara. I was there only a year in residence while I started teaching high school at Bishop Garcia Diego High School in Santa Barbara. I was also Bishop Leveda's secretary, not secretary, but I would go on him for ceremonies, that I would be his master of ceremonies when he did confirmations or other ceremonies. I stayed a year there, and then they wanted me to move over to another parish because they were more of a need of an extra priest over there, St. Raphael's in Goleta. So I moved to St. Raphael's in Goleta, and I still was teaching high school for another 2 years. I taught Catholic Church history and doctrine, which was, I just loved it. It was great. And then I stopped teaching and became the associate pastor at St. Raphael's in Goleta. After my term was over there, I moved down to St. Joan of Arc Parish in West Los Angeles, where I was there several years. And then from there, I went to Sacred Heart Parish in Ventura. From Ventura, I went to St. John Newman Parish in Santa Maria, and that's where I learned Spanish. Wow, that was a great experience. I had spoken Spanish when I was in Sacred Heart and did all the Spanish masses, but my Spanish didn't get really fluent until I went to St. John Newman in Santa Maria. I was only there 6 months because there was another guy who was assigned as pastor, and I just filled in for him as administrator because his mother was very ill. So I stayed there 6 months, and wow, did I have a wonderful time there. Mostly farm worker Latinos. There were some Portuguese, there were a few Anglos, but mostly farm worker Latinos, and I had just a wonderful time there. It was great. I had one associate pastor and 9 masses, and I was exhausted most of the time physically, but those people, spiritually, I was very lifted up by them. I had a wonderful experience there. Would have one Sunday evening. We had 9 masses. And Saturday evenings, we would have confessions for probably 6 hours. We had to stand up to hear confessions because if we sat down, it took twice as long. And if we went into the confessional, we could not hear everybody's confession. There were so many people going to confession. Hundreds of people. And then 9 masses the next day between 2 of us, and I had flopped down on my couch. It was a 1-story rectory, which is the priest's residence. I flopped down on my couch just exhausted when I heard somebody knocking on the back door, and I'm thinking, somebody climbed over the fence to knock on our back door. So I got up and opened the back door, and I'm thinking, how did they get over the fence to knock? And it was a senior citizen, Latina, who had a huge plate, and she says, "Enchiladas para ti, padre. Enchiladas for you, father." And I thought, this is wonderful. She was just such a loving and kind person. I never did ask her how she got over the fence. I still wondered today, but she did somehow, and she brought us enchiladas. From St. John Neumann, I was transferred when Father Vaughn took over down to St. Thomas Aquinas Parish in Monterey Park, which I enjoyed, but half of the people at the parish spoke Chinese, and I had no idea what they were saying. A quarter were Latinos, and lots of those people spoke Spanish, and then there were some English-speaking people. It wasn't really a good fit for me because although I liked the Chinese people and they seemed to like me, I didn't understand them, and they didn't understand much of what I was saying. So I applied to be pastor in another parish, and I picked 5 parishes that I thought I could be pastor in, and that's part of the process. You pick 5 and you put those in. I went in for my interview, and they asked me if I'd be interested in going to St. Raymond at Downey, and I thought, well, I didn't think I could because I was raised in Downey. I said, Well, I went to Downey High School. I was raised in Downey. I didn't think that was possible. They said, yeah, if you want to go, that's a possibility. I said, sure, I'd love to go to St. Raymond in Downey. Well, a few weeks later, I got my appointment to St. Raymond and came here in 2003. And I've been here ever since. So that's the story of my call to the priesthood. And I'm still being called to the priesthood every day. This is why I'm making videos. This is why even as a retired priest, I'm doing lots of things. I'm doing baptisms. I'm doing Sunday Mass. I'm going to be doing a parish mission up in Bakersfield at St. Francis Parish. I've been filling in for a priest in Orange County in Aliso Viejo. I help out around the parish, confessions and Mass during the day or weekends. So I'd still do what a priest is ordained to do. I just don't have to be the boss, which is absolutely wonderful. If somebody has a complaint that there's a broken pipe or a broken wire, I say, well, you got to talk to the boss, or you have to talk to the business manager or the parish manager about that. I don't have to do that kind of stuff anymore. So my priesthood is still a call every day, and I'm so glad that I'm a Catholic priest. So thank you for asking, and that's my story of how it all begun and where I am now and how there's always a new beginning right in front of me. God bless you.